ਨਹਿ ਪੈਮਾਨ ਤੁਆਨ, ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨ ਰੇ ਮਨਾ। ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨ ਰੇ ਮਨਾ, ਗਿਆਨੀ ਤਾਹੇ ਵਖਾਨ, ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨ ਰੇ ਮਨਾ। ਜੇ ਵਿਖਿਆ ਸਗਲੀ ਤਜੀ, ਲਿਓ ਪੇਖ ਬੈਰਾਗ, ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨ ਰੇ ਮਨਾ, ਤੇ ਨਰ ਮਾਥੈ ਭਾਗ। ਜੇ ਮਾਇਆ ਮਮਤਾ ਤਜੀ, ਜੇ ਮਾਇਆ ਮਮਤਾ ਤਜੀ, ਸਭ ਤੇ ਪਇਓ ਦਾਸ, ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨ ਰੇ ਮਨਾ। ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨ ਰੇ ਮਨਾ, ਦੇਹ ਘਟ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਨਿਵਾਸ, ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨ ਰੇ ਮਨਾ। ਜੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਨੀ ਹਉ ਮੈਂ ਤਜੀ, ਕਰਤਾ ਰਾਮ ਪਛਾਨ, ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਮੋਹ ਮੁਕਤ ਨਰ, ਏ ਮਨ ਸਾਜੀ ਮਾਨ। ਪੈ ਨਾਸਨ ਦੁਰਮਤ ਹਰਨ, ਪੈ ਨਾਸਨ ਦੁਰਮਤ ਹਰਨ, ਕਲ ਮੈਂ ਹਰ ਕੋ ਨਾਮ, ਨਿਸ ਦਿਨ ਜੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਭਜੈ। ਨਿਸ ਦਿਨ ਜੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਭਜੈ, ਸਫਲ ਹੋਏ ਤੇ ਕਾਮ। ਨਿਸ ਦਿਨ ਜੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਭਜੈ। ਜਿਹਵਾ ਗੁਣ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਭਜੋ, ਕਰਨ ਸੁਨੋ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ, ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਨ ਰੇ ਮਨਾ, ਪਰੇ ਨਾ ਜਮ ਕੈ ਤਾਮ। ਜੋ ਪ੍ਰਾਨੀ ਮਮਤਾ ਤਜੈ, ਜੋ ਪ੍ਰਾਨੀ ਮਮਤਾ ਤਜੈ, ਲੋਭ ਮੋਹ ਅਹੰਕਾਰ, ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਆਪਨ ਤਰੈ। ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਆਪਨ ਤਰੈ, ਔਰਨ ਲੇਤ ਉਧਾਰ। जो सुपना अर्पेना ऐसे जग को जान, इनमें कुछ सोचो नहीं, नानक बिन भगवान, निस दिन माया तारने। निस दिन माया तारने, प्राणी डोलत नीक, कोटन में नानक हो। कोटन में नानक हो। नारायण जे जीत, कोटन में नानक हो। जैसे जलते बुद बुदा, उपजै बिन सैनिक, जग रचना तैसे रची, कहो नानक सुन मीत, प्राणी कछु न चेतई। प्राणी कछु न चेतई, मद माया के अंध, कहो नानक बिन हर भजन। कहो नानक बिन हर भजन, परतता है जम पंध, कहो नानक बिन हर भजन। जो सुख को चाहे सदा, शरण राम की ले, कहो नानक सुन रे मना, दुर्लभ मानुख दे, माया कारण तावही। माया कारण तावही, मूर्ख लोग अजान, कहो नानक बिन हर भजन। कहो नानक
Oh, my Master, come to me. Oh, dear Father, come to me. Oh, my Master, come to me. Oh, dear Father, come to me. Each moment, like a year, my heart cries for thee. I am yearning for ye. Come to me, come to me. Oh, my Master, come False is the ruler and population. False the love of all relations. Karmically binding me. Come to me, come to me. Oh, my master, come to me. Oh, dear Father, come to me. Gold is false, silver is false. Gold is false, silver is false. All material lifelessly. Come to me, come to me. Oh, my master, come to me. Oh, dear Father, come to me. Dust thou art, and to dust returneth. Thus the miserable body of me. Come to me, come to me. Oh, my master, come to me. Oh, dear Father, come to me. Everything is on the way to destruction. Everything is on the way to destruction. Eternal truth is only thee. Come to me, come to me. Oh, my master, come to me. Oh, dear Father, come to me. I'm alone among all these, feeling in heart only thee. Come to me, come to me. Oh, my master, come to me. Oh, my master, come to me. Oh, dear Father, come to me.
Hello everyone, welcome to Satsang all. Nice to see you. Today we will start with a song by Manas, Oh My God. Then we have a talk by Michael, and we will continue with a talk by Tina Dillon. The topic is Chapsi Sahib. Then we have 5 minutes of meditation and we'll watch Master. And we'll meditate all together with love and devotion. Thank you. We can start.
Eva, do you want to read the translation of Mana's song?
Sure. Sorry, I forgot. Just wait a second. Okay, so we have a very nice translation today. So, what is this vacancy residing in my heart? Now mistakes have become a part of my nature. I'm the one who has fallen due to mercy. Oh God, I've fallen, I've fallen. When I got separated from you, then I was destroyed, I was destroyed. Oh God, I've fallen, I've fallen. When I got separated from you, then I was destroyed, I was destroyed. Why did you connect yourself with this world? One day everything is going to end. However much you try to gather in this world, it'll slip out of your hands. Every person is made from the soil and he'll mix with that one day. This is the truth. Be aware of it. Why are you looking away from the truth? Whatever are your desires, fulfill them. This nature won't change. Understand this. Your existence shall cease. You won't be able to feel this heart. Oh God, I've fallen, I've fallen. When I got separated from you, then I was destroyed, I was destroyed. If you think that you've fallen, then hold my hand and get up. I'm standing at the doorstep of your heart. Make me yours. You say that you've fallen from the shadows. I'm the light of your path. I've taken your crimes on my name. You're not guilty in my eyes. Show me such a scenery. Make me meet such a person. Make my story be heard to such a heart who has never been wounded. Oh God, I'm fallen, I've fallen. When I got separated from you, then I was destroyed. I was destroyed. Okay, thank you. You can start.
कैसी खलाए दिल में बसी है, अब तो खताए फितरत ही सी है। मैं ही वो जो रहमत से गिरा, ऐ खुदा गिर गया, गिर गया। मैं जो तुझ से दूर हुआ, लुट गया, लुट गया। कैसी खलाए दिल में बसी है, अब तो खताएं फितरत ही सी है। मैं ही वो जो रहमत से गिरा, है खुदा गिर गया, गिर गया। मैं जो तुझ से दूर हुआ, लुट गया, लुट गया। क्यों जुड़ता इस जहां से तू, एक दिन ये गुजर ही जाएगा। कितना भी समेट ले यहाँ, मुट्ठी से फिसल ही जाएगा। हर शख्स है धूल से बना, और फिर उसमें ही जा मिला। ये हकीकत है तू जान ले, क्यों सच से मुँह है फेरता। चाहे जो भी हसरत पूरी कर ले, रुकेगी ना फितरत ये समझ ले। मिट जाएगी तेरी हस्ती, भर ना पाएगा ये दिल बंदिया। ऐ खुदा गिर गया, गिर गया। मैं जो तुझ से दूर हुआ, लुट गया, लुट गया। गर तू सोचे तू है गिरा, मेरे हाथ को थाम उठ जरा। तेरे दिल के दर पे हूँ खड़ा, मुझको अपना ले तू जरा। तू काहे तू है साए से गिरा, तेरी राहों का मैं नूर हूँ। तेरे गुनहाओं को खुद पे ले लिया, मेरी नजरों में बेकसूर तू। ऐसे कोई मंजर तू दिखला दे, मुझे कोई शख्स से मिलवा दे। ऐसे कोई दिल से तू सुनवा दे, कि जख्म कोई उससे ना मिला। ऐ खुदा गिर गया, गिर गया। मैं जो तुझ से दूर हुआ, लुट गया, लुट गया।
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the mystic garden of lovers, where we're all the butterflies looking for the nectar of God. This is what satsang is. Tina, my sister, she sent me this in the morning, the mystic garden of lovers. And I'm like, this is satsang, where we all gather as butterflies in the garden of God to sip the nectar and to enjoy the beauty of God in the garden and to get close to divinity. This is what it's all about. It's getting closer to our inner self, getting closer to our God self, and touching divinity inside of us. Touching divinity, looking at Master in the Manas. Manas, your song was so beautiful and your voice is so godly. And the message in the song that when we are away from Master, then we fall, then we are destroyed, and we are full of fear, we are full of anxiety, and everything that is opposite of love starts to dwell in us. This is when we stop our attention on Master. That all these things start to sprout on us, especially fear, anxiety, depression. And when we are in that atmosphere, when we are not when we are fallen, that means disconnected from God, then everything around us becomes muddy, as all these feelings and emotions that are opposite of God pollute the atmosphere around us and disturb the people that are connected to us. That everybody that is connected to us, if we are into that atmosphere, fallen from God, then they also get disturbed. They also want to run away from us because they feel that they don't, there's no love. There is no love. There is the opposite. But when we connect with the source of love, the Master, that magnetic force that cannot be described, then all the good qualities are there. All the virtues of God are there. And we are so close to divinity. Just looking at Master's pictures in the songs that we played in the morning. Um, wow, just looking at Master's picture just brings divinity. It brings divinity, it brings the closeness, it brings the good memory of God being with us in the human form, and all that love that was showered on us from his eyes, from all his body, from head to toe. Wherever we looked at him, even his hair, as Baba Sawan Singh says, that each hair of the Master has the light of thousands of suns and moons and stars, which is true. That is like when we go inside and we see the inner Master and we see his light, then every hair has like millions of suns and moons and stars. And sometimes the Master shows that light. And he showed, Baba Sawan Singh showed that light to that Sufi master who was sitting in front of him on a chair, and he's like telling Baba Sawan Singh, show the people who you are, show the people who you are. And then all of a sudden, Baba Sawan Singh looked at him, and this Sufi master just fell backward on his chair. And he was saying that that Sufi master was a big master, very fat. And he fell back, and Baba Sawan Singh just showed him the light of one hair on his head. And he said, what if you see the whole thing? You will not be able to comprehend it. As the master is Satpurush, the creator of all, and everything is contained in him. He's the Alpha, the Omega, and in between. He's everything. He's the source of creation. He's the source of our life. And he's the source of living. And to be in satsang, in this garden, the garden of lovers, we continuously fall in love. I love that, continuously fall in love. I read that in our dear brother Akash. Wow, he is so talented, and he puts his writings on Ishwar Puri Ji site, and he is like, I swear, I think our dear brother has the potential of what Rumi has and Hafiz. He writes so beautifully, and it's coming out of his heart. And he said that we continuously fall in love. And I was like, this is true. This is true. Satsang is a continuous falling in love, where we just keep continuously tripping on love. We keep tripping on love and we hand the ball. We pass the ball. Also, that I read that in Akash's brother Akash's writings, and he said we pass the ball of fear and everything that is opposite of God to Master. That's what he wants us to do. Pass that ball to him, and then we can live very free as we hand in all our worries, problems, whatever we have that is opposite of God. We hand it to the inner Christ, the inner Christ that lives in us, and we feel free. We feel free. This was written in all the holy scriptures that the lovers of God, they hand all their problems to the Master. And when the Master is there, and the Master is not far away from us, he is so close, he is in us. He's like blended in every cell of our body. He is blended in us. He is closer to us than we could imagine. So close. Hafiz says in his poetry, when I want to kiss God, I just lift my hand to my mouth and then I kiss, and I'm kissing God because he realized that truth. He realized that truth, and he could see God in every face, in every flower, in all the creation, in every tree, everywhere. He could see God, and seeing God everywhere, he could also realize God in him, in himself, and then the separation became oneness, and all the drops join one and become one with the ocean. My brother Jit, yesterday, he sent me a high frequency a picture of two droplets of water that was taken in high definition, and those two drops of water looked like they are dancing. Maybe Jit will share it in our group and you will see it. And those and they looked like dancing, and they looked like having like a violin in their hand. And those are just drops of water dancing. And if our body is more than 70 or 75% water, and then we are connecting with the source of love, we are connecting with Master, then all our body starts dancing because we are 70% or 80% water, and all these droplets of water inside of us, when we connect with God, then they start dancing. Our whole being starts to dance. Our whole being starts to dance. And that is the most beautiful thing, to connect with God and feel the ecstasy, feel the bliss, feel the happiness. And it's continuous, continuous and continuous. It does not cease. As long as we're connected to the source keeps bringing the electricity of God. It's like touching electricity, and the electricity keeps coming. It never stops. And the same way, just looking within, holding the hand of Master, and in our daily life, holding the hand of Master at every second, that keeps bringing the love. And what is love? It is ecstasy. Everything is included in love. Love is all. Love is all. It's one and it's all. It includes everything. So love includes bliss. Love includes ecstasy. Love includes extreme intoxication. It includes everything. The more we polish the mirror of our soul with the help of Master, the more we are receptive to that love, the more the love starts pouring as our soul is cleansed. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to feel that on daily basis, just to connect with God and absorb, become roots that absorb love from the kingdom of God, as man is like an inverted tree that absorbs love from inside himself, from inside of himself. That's where the love is. And to connect with Master, we become roots of love. We go deep into God and into the kingdom of God and bring that love. And that is the life where we live in love and we have no fear. We become fearless. To become fearless in this world is a big thing, that nothing worries us. We have the Emperor of Emperors, the Creator of all, the Master of the universe in us. and he's taking care of everything. He's taking care of everything, and everything is rigged towards our benefit. Whatever happens, it is for our benefit. Let me read some poems. And in the Shabd in this morning, it's so sad that Guru Nanak is saying, among millions, O Nanak, there is scarcely anyone who keeps the Lord in his consciousness. Scarcely anyone who keeps the Lord in his consciousness. Among millions, O Nanak. Why is that? It's because everybody is blinded by the wine of Maya. And then when we are blinded by the wine of Maya, then we are caught by the noose of death. This is the Shabd, and this is the truth. This is the truth. Okay, let's see. Oh, this paragraph was from the poem I read yesterday, but I forgot to flip the page. But it says, on a day when the wind is perfect, the sail just needs to open and the love starts. Today is such a day. Isn't that so beautiful? This is this is like when we sit together in the memory of Master. It's like putting out our sail, putting up our sail, and the love directly starts to come. We don't have to ask it to come. The love starts coming. On a day when the wind is perfect, the sail just needs to open and the love starts. Today is such a day. So beautiful. And then this poem it says, huddled beneath the sky, huddled beneath the sky of love we are. The sadness I have caused any face by letting a stray word strike it. Any pain I have caused you. What can I do to make us even? Demand 100-fold of me, I'll pay it. During the day I hold my feet accountable to watch out for wondrous insects and their friends. Why would I want to bring horror into their extraordinary world? This poem is by Rumi. Some people says, "Oh, Rumi was not vegetarian." Well, this poem speaks it all. That Rumi was vegetarian. He was the king of compassion, and he is saying that he is watching out for all the insects where he even puts his feet. And why would I want to bring horror into their extraordinary world? So anybody who tells you that Rumi or Hafiz were not vegetarian, they are totally wrong. They are totally wrong. Um, Magnetic fields draw us to light. They move our limbs and thoughts, but it is still dark. If our hearts do not hold a lantern, we will stumble, we will stumble over each other. That's also so delicious. Magnetic fields draw us to light. They move our limbs and thoughts, but it is still dark. If our hearts do not hold a lantern, we will stumble over each other. Wow. That we hold the lantern of God, the light of God inside of us. Take heed that the light in thee shall not become darkness. This is what it is meant when we hold the lantern. If we don't hold the lantern, we will stumble. But when we hold the lantern, that's the inner light. When our inner light is there and we see with our inner eye the suns and the moons and the stars, the galaxies and the inner master and everything from inside, that's holding the lantern. Then we will not stumble. Why we will not stumble? Because we will become soul and not mind. Mind stumbles. Soul has intuition from God, direct communication from God. It knows the way and it holds the light. Huddled beneath the sky as we are. Okay, let's see. Oh, this poem is so beautiful. It says, hey, like it takes all the formalities, with the inner master, with our master, even with the outer master. We can become we can remove the formalities and treat him like a friend and could say to him, hey, you, why is suffering coming to me? Like Ishwar Puri ji says, that you can also reprimand the master. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? So this poem is saying, hey, the grass beneath a tree is content and silent. A squirrel holds an acorn in its praying hands, offering thanks. It looks like the nut tastes sweet. I bet the prayer spiced it up somehow. Wow, this is so beautiful. The squirrel holds an acorn like this. Have you ever seen a squirrel holding an acorn? It holds an acorn like this, and it's putting its hand into prayer. And when we fold our hands and bow down, we are bowing down to God in every creature. And when we do it to the Master, the same thing. And then our hands become roots extended to the kingdom of God, and it just sucks the love and brings the love to us. I do that daily. I put my hands like that and thank Master in gratitude for all the gifts he's showering me. And I feel the love coming at that moment when I fold my hands, bow down to Master's feet. Wow, such a beautiful thing. And so, where was I? Yeah. The nut tastes sweet. I bet the prayer spiced it up somehow. When we touch anything, when we touch anything while doing Simran, with love, with devotion, with bringing Master in, everything we touch becomes delicious. Now that I have verified in my own world, that and when I cook everything with Simran, bringing God at every moment. Every time I cut a vegetable, I say the names of God. And what happens? Everything becomes delicious. And the fruits and vegetables, they are the happiest, Rumi says, when we cut them with the Simran, because they get the human body in the next life. The broken shells fall on the grass, and the grass looks up and says, "Hey." And the squirrel looks down and says, "Hey." I have been saying hey lately too to God. Formalities just weren't working. So you can talk to Master any way you want. You can scream at him, you can call him any name you like. It doesn't matter. It will bring him. As my dad, yeah, yes, yes. Can you become such a king? Can you become such a king? I want that kind of grace from God, that when it hits, I won't get off the floor for days. And when I finally do stagger into a some semblance of poise, wow, he wants a grace from God that when it hits, he will faint for days. I want that too. And when I finally do stagger into a poise, I will still need a cane and shoulder to help me walk, and I will need great patience from any who try to decipher my slurred speech. You should forget about knowing the friend unless you are willing to kiss the world with great abandon. Wow, this phrase has everything in it. You should forget about knowing the friend unless you are willing to kiss the world with great abandon. That means you want nothing from this world. We want nothing from this world. Until we want nothing, nothing, nothing from this world, then we will be able to see the friend fully inside of us. Fully inside of us. When we abandon our desires and our attachments. Oh, this is funny. You know how yesterday we were saying that Rumi went below the belt in explaining God and explaining poetry. He's talking about two dogs having making love and how they're locked together. I have seen dogs locked together like that, and nothing can get them away from each other. It says, locked like a pair of dogs, openly making love in the streets, imprevious to the shouts and pails of water being thrown and glares from eyes that pass. Can you become such an egoless king? It is about losing our ego, not caring what people in the world call us or say about us. As they will think that we are crazy because we are lovers of the Lord and we don't love this world. They think we are crazy and they will call us names and stupid and cult and I have been through that all my life since I met my master. I had to go through that with my worldly family, worldly friends, and worldly people. But it doesn't matter. Once you are caught with love, then nothing really happens. Whatever people say does not matter. We're just heading towards love because we know it is the way. We know it is the way. Wow. So we have to become egoless. And when we become egoless, then we become king of kings. We become the kings. Okay, I guess that's enough for today. And I thank Master for the seva, and I thank him for the garden, the mystic garden of lovers, that we are all here together in his love, huddled under the sky of love. That's what it is. We're all a circle of lovers, and our only goal is to go forward towards love. We don't care about anything else. We only care about polishing our mirror and imbibing more love and continuously falling in love, continuously falling in love. That may it stay forever. Continuously we are in love, and continuously we fall deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the love of God until we are head to toe, immersed, drowned in the love, in the ocean of love. And I wish that on me and on everyone here. Okay. Anyone wants to sing for us before I play our dear sister Tina? Bhavani?
I would love to sing.
Cool.
Radha
Thank
Swami, brothers and sisters. Thank you, Michael G, for your gift of love. Thank you, all Sevadas, for your beautiful love and devotion. I have sung this song before, so it's dedicated to Papa Ishwar. When all foundations have been shaken, when I am left standing in the dark, and all I feel is my heart breaking, you still reign and you still Ishwar. And when it feels all hope has faded, the heavy questions hit so hard. And though my soul may feel forsaken, you still reign and you still Ishwar. Though I can't see what's before me, I know I can trust your heart. And this one truth will be my story. You still reign and you still Ishwar. I will declare that you are with us. Through voices whisper that you not. You never leave me nor forsake us. 'Cause you still reign and you still Ishwar. Though I can't see what's before me, I know I can trust your heart. For this one truth will be my story. I know you still reign and you still Ishwar. Thank you, Radhaswami.
Thank you, Master. Thank you, Master, for Bhavani's beautiful love and devotion that pours on us like rain. Thank you, God. Wow. When you sing, I feel like I want to put my head on Master's shoe and just keep it there. Never take it away. Wow. Thank you. All right. Wow. So more love now from our dear sister Tina. Um, and I'll play her. I'll play her seva now.
Hi, beautiful holy family. Thank you, dearest beloved Babaji, for another opportunity for this beautiful seva. With your divine blessings and the blessings of the Sangha and my brothers and sisters on this holy path, I will continue this seva. As always, my reference points are the Japji by Sant Kirpal Singh Ji Maharaj. We will start with the recitation of Mool Mantra, which is the beginning of Japji Sahib followed by the recitations of stanzas 23, 24, and 25, first in Punjabi and then the translation in English. Before the recitations of the stanzas, we will read the introduction to Japji, and today's topic is going to be Simran, what it means and its uses. And now, the recitation of Mool Mantra. Ik Onkar Sat Nam Karta Purakh Nirbhau Nirvair Akal Murad Ajuni Sehbang Gur Prasad Jap Ad Sach Jugad Sach Hai Bhi Sach Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach. And now the introduction. Simran, what it means and its uses. Communion with the Word, the eternal music, is possible with the life of Simran, or the constant remembrance of the Lord. It does not mean mere mechanical muttering, which is discarded by the Master. Kabir affirmed, while the rosary moves in the hand and the tongue wags in the mouth, the mind is concentrated on external effects. This is no Simran. Again, once the rosary quarreled with me, saying, Why, O man, dost thou movest me around and around? Just turn the beads of thy mind, and I will introduce thee to the all-pervading God. Thou shalt not take the name of God in vain, but take it with some purpose in view. The constant remembrance of the Lord is but another form of love. Whom you love dearly, you think of always. This constant thought of Lord is what the Master exhorts all to do, for as you think, so you become. Simran is the remembrance of the Lord done mentally with the tongue of thought, with the heart filled with devoted love, concentrating on a particular center in the body. It is an act of centering the self and occupying the mind with the constant idea of the Lord, casting out all ideas of the objective world. The constant dwelling on our environments has so taken hold of the mind that we cannot even for a single moment drive away the thoughts of external objects. From infancy onwards, this practice has been going on in full swing, and it has now grown into a regular habit of our lives. Habit is said to be second nature of man. It is at this stage rather difficult to extricate the mind from external objects. The more you try to do so, the more it becomes restive, and the more it runs out into the mundane affairs of life. It has formed a strong alliance with all that is external. It is always thinking of what is foreign and exotic, and is carried away by the glamour and fascination of the world. Whatever habit we have formed, we can unmake it as well. The thoughts of the world and of all that is worldly is a source of bondage to the outside things. The Master too uses the same means inwardly as does Dame Nature to bind us to this external world, and makes the mind purely one-pointed. The constant thought of the Lord, by mentally dwelling on the holy Naam, brings the mind back from the world and holds it to one place. At the outset, it is difficult to concentrate as it takes time to bring the mind under control. But there is nothing to be disheartened about. Failures are stepping stones to success. Where there is a will, there is a way. We must stick to the process until the mind is channeled. The glory of Nam always reminds one of the highest ideal of human life. It soothes the mind and prevents it from going astray. The constant remembrance of Nam withdraws the mind from the outer objects and concentrates it on the divine and the supernatural. It makes the mind self-centered so that desires fail to draw it out and the siren songs of the world lose all their magic attraction. This part of the practice is technically termed by Guru Nanak as Simran. It further helps in the withdrawal of the spirit current from the body to its seat, situated at the ganglion between and behind the two eyes called Ajna chakra. Unless the soul current is withdrawn completely at one focus, further ascent of the soul is not possible. This process of withdrawal from the body is the one thing that is absolutely necessary in spiritual advancement. It is achieved through the simple preliminary method of Simran. With the help of a Gurmukh master, the process of inversion and self-analysis becomes quite easy and natural to practice. In Simran lie the seeds that help in the development of the soul. Nanak reveals this secret in the concluding portions of stanzas 5, 6, and 23, and at full length in stanzas 33 of the Japji. Fortunate indeed is the man who always revels in the blessings of his master. Attachment to the outer world is the outcome of constant remembrance, which makes man adhere to its environments through the law of cause and effect. All impressions ingrained in one's mind must bear fruit to due course. None can escape the result. It is these impressions that we have to nullify by constant remembrance of the Lord and by making this the ruling principle of our life. In transmigration, man is led to the environments to which he has been mostly attached. When you think of the Lord all the time, nothing can bind you to the matter. Hence, you do not have any rebirths, for it is said, through Simran of the Lord, you do not pass through the womb. Gauri Sukhmani Mahalla Panchma. Simran makes man introspective and concentrative. Extraordinary powers inevitably follow as a result of the concentration of mind in the inner planes. For riddhis and siddhis, extraordinary powers, are the slaves of Nam, Gauri Mahalla Panchma. The master, however, warns the probationer against the use of them, for these lead him to the outer pursuits and estrange him from the goal he has set up before him. Simran procures true knowledge, high meditation, and unerring intellect. It causes one to lose all sense of individuality, which fades away into the boundless being, creating a sort of waking trance. This state is utterly beyond words, but is a sure reality beyond the ken of death. The hold of the ego is loosened, the spirit currents are withdrawn, and one rises into a halo of light. The body appears as something not of oneself. One's life, as compared to higher life, may be likened as a spark to the sun. Simran washes away the dirt of sins from all the mind. Gauri Mahalla Panchwa. Simran befits a person for receiving and enjoying the sweet nectar of the holy Naam. Guru Nanak explains this in detail by giving illustrations in stanzas 20 of the Japji. Lastly, through Simran, one hears the sweet music of unending song of the universe, the Word, and has experiences ineffable. Gauri Mahalla Panchwa. Tennyson, in his poem The Ancient Sage, gives a description of what can be achieved by repetition even of one's own name. In the letter he wrote, he also refers to the grander life achieved by him by meditating on his own name. He says, "A kind of waking trance I have frequently had quite up from my childhood. This has generally come upon me through repeating my own name 2 or 3 times to myself, silently, till all at once, as it were, out of the intensity of consciousness of individuality, the individual itself seemed to dissolve and fade away into the boundless being, and this not a confused state, but the clearest of the clearest, the surest of the surest, the wisest of the wisest, utterly beyond words, where death were an almost laughable impossibility, the loss of personality, if so it were, seeming but the only true life. I am ashamed of my feeble description." Memoirs of Halvor Tennyson. Peter, the great Tsar of Russia, was also accustomed to this practice of concentration. He lost all his consciousness of personality by concentrating upon his own name. The master, however, enjoins the Simran of the Lord and not of one's own name. Meditation on one's name leads to a dip into one's own consciousness, which is small as compared to the higher consciousness of God. There are several ways of performing Simran. When it is done with the help of tongue, it is called Baikri. When done in the gullet by touching the tip of the tongue with the palate, it is known as Madhama. When done in rhythm with the beat of the heart, it is described as Pashanti, and with the flow of one's breath, it is called Para. The last method is practiced by yogins. Masters, however, do not recommend this. The first 3 methods also do not give complete concentration, as the mind more often than not skips about while repetition is being done mechanically. The master, therefore, advises mental simran done with the tongue of thought, termed zikre ruhi. The practice of Simran begins with the repetition of Lord's objective names slowly with the mental poise. At first, the process is objective, but in course of time, it becomes subjective. Then the constant thought of the Lord continues without cessation. The Master refers to this when he says, "O Nanak, a Gurmukh starts the repetition of Naam only once." Gauri Sukhmani Mahalla Panchwa. Once this starts, the remembrance becomes automatic, continuous, and constant, and one never forgets the Lord. O Kabir, there is a great mystery in the repetition of the Lord's name, and one must try to discover the same. For many repeat that name without any fruit, but others with wondrous results. Shalok Kabir. Again, the Master says, All repeat the name of God, but none can fathom the mystery of it. If through the favor of God man it gets ingrained in the mind, only then one reaps the fruit thereof. Gauri Mahalla Tija. Let us pause and summarize what has been said before we proceed further. According to the Master, the purpose of human life is to achieve complete oneness with the Lord. A. We must reunite with the source from whence we once emanated. But how can we reach this goal? Complete at-one-ment with the Lord comes through knowing His will, and His will is revealed through communion with the Holy Naam. This, in turn, is helped by a life of Simran. Non-assertion of egoism or humility is the way that helps in knowing His will through Simran. It has already been mentioned that Simran helps in the withdrawal of spirit currents from the body. After complete withdrawal is achieved, only then the ascent of the soul into higher spiritual planes becomes possible. To understand this and the mystery of self and the universe requires a brief explanation. And now the stanzas. Stanza number 23 in Punjabi. Salahi salahi eti surat na paya, nadiya ate va pave samund na janiya. Samund sah sultan girha seti maltan, kiri tul na hovni, jetis mane na visarya. Even if one, through communion with the Word, merges into the infinite, one still cannot fathom its depths, for the illimitable has no limits. It is enough that the stream loses itself in the ocean. Blessed are they whose heart are filled with the divine love, and no earthly possessions compare with them. His devotees praise him, yet never attain full knowledge of the infinite. Like streams tumbling into the ocean, they know not the depths therein. Even kings and emperors with a heap of wealth and vast dominion compare not with an ant filled with the love of God. Stanza 24th. अंत न सिफत कहन न अंत, अंत न करने देन न अंत, अंत न वेखन सुनन न अंत, अंत न जापे किया मन संबंध, अंत न जापे किता आकार, अंत न जापे पारावार, अंत कारण कते बललाल, ताके अंत न पाए जाए, एहो अंत न जाने कोई, बहुता कहिए बहुता होई। वट्टा साहिबा ऊंची थाव, ऊंचे ऊपर ऊंचा नाव, एवड ऊंचा होवे कोई, तिस ऊंचे को जाने सोई। जेवड आप जाने आप, नानक नदरी करमी दात. Endless are God's creation is limitless. Many have tried to fathom his mystery, and yet none can know him until they reach his height. The soul beholds God when it enters into Sachkhand, the highest of the spiritual planes. How can it be otherwise? How can one behold what is pure spirit with this material eyes? One must transcend on the wings of the Word, and one can only do so through His grace. Endless are His praises, endless the word of commendation, endless His work and endless His gifts, endless His vision and endless His inspiration. Endless and beyond understanding is His purpose, endless His creation and endless the end thereof. Endless men's search in anguish for his limits, but his limits cannot be found. Endless he is, and none can know his end. The more we say, the more he is. Exalted is the Lord, and exalted his abode. More exalted still his holy word. He who reaches his height, he alone may glimpse him. O Nanak, he alone knows his greatness, and it is only his glance of grace can lift us to his height. Stanza 25th. ਬਹੁਤਾ ਕਰਮ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਨਾ ਜਾਏ, ਵੱਡਾ ਦਾਤਾ ਤਿਲ ਨ ਤਮਾਏ, ਕੇਤੇ ਮੰਗੇ ਜੋਤ ਅਪਾਰ, ਕੇਤੀਆ ਗਣਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਵਿਚਾਰ, ਕੇਤੇ ਖਪ ਟੁੱਟੇ ਵਿਕਾਰ, ਕੇਤੇ ਲੈ ਲੈ ਮੁਕਰ ਪਾਹੇ, ਕੇਤੇ ਮੂਰਖ ਖਾਈ ਖਾਏ, ਕੇਤਿਆ ਦੁਖ ਭੂਖ ਸਦਾ ਮਾਰ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਦਾਤ ਤੇਰੀ ਦਾਤਾਰ, ਬੰਦ ਖਲਾਸੀ ਭਾਣੇ ਹੋਏ, ਹੋਰ ਆਖੇ ਨਾ ਸਕੇ ਕੋਏ, ਜੇ ਕੋ ਖਾ ਕੇ ਆਖਣ ਪਾਏ, ਇਹੋ ਜਾਣੇ ਚੇਤੀਆ ਮੂੰਹ ਖਾਏ, ਆਪੇ ਜਾਣੇ ਆਪੇ ਦੇ, ਆਖੇ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਕਈ ਕਈ, ਜਿਸਨੋ ਬਖਸ਼ੇ ਸਿਫਤ ਸਲਾਹ, ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ. Nanak is the passage, in this passage refers to the uniqueness of God's attributes. Not only is he unique and peerless, but so are his regents, the master souls, who sell the priceless wares of his holy word. Many have sung his praises, and countless more to come might do the same. And nevertheless, the Almighty has remains, and shall remain unsaid. His bounty is supreme and magnanimous as he is. He showers his gifts and all alike, whether good or bad. All have their shares. None is ignored. He knows us all better than we do, and bestows on us what is best for us. But the greatest of his bounties is a gift of the eternal song. When he confers it on man, out of his grace, it makes him the King of Kings. His benevolence is manifold, and none can record it. He is the giver of all, coveting nothing in return. Many are the warriors who are beggars at his door, and many more whose number is beyond reckoning. And many are those who, misusing his gifts, wallow in sensuality. Many who, receiving his gifts, deny him. Many the fools who only eat and enjoy, but think not of the donor. And many lie afflicted by hunger, misery, and pain, which too are thy gifts, O Lord. Bondage and salvation both go by thy will. None else has any say therein. If some dare claim otherwise, he shall soon have cause to repent of his temerity. He knows all that bestows accordingly, but few there be that realize this. O Nanak, on whom he bestows his gifts of the song celestial, is a King of Kings. Thank you, my dearest Holy Family, for this opportunity. As always, I humbly ask for forgiveness, as I have made many, 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 many mistakes in my pronunciation and recitation. Please forgive your younger sister for making so many mistakes. Thank you, Master, for this opportunity and your blessings. And with everyone's blessings, I will continue this seva next week. Thank you very much.
Sister Tina, this is great, great, great seva. Thank you so much. And we're looking forward for next week, so you can continue on. And I see an AJ there. If it is the same AJ that was asking the question in Master's Grace, is that the same AJ? Then he is welcome. You're welcome to bring your questions tomorrow. Dr. Chand will be on tomorrow, Friday, and you can ask anything you like. And is that AJ the one? Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Thank
okay.
you very much indeed.
Yes. Please bring all your questions tomorrow. Dr. Chand will be there, and yeah, we will all try to answer your questions. Cool. Dr. Chand, did you hear that? I'll tell him.
Yes, I did,
Yes,
So I am
okay.
here, and tomorrow we may take up his questions.
Yes.
That's right.
So please, AJ, come tomorrow and bring your questions.
Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you.
We'll do that part.
Okay, cool.
Lovely.
I'm looking forward. Yeah.
Welcome.
And now we'll continue. I want to continue playing the video from yesterday from Master. It was great. So we'll play that and then we'll meditate with love and devotion. Thank you so much, all of you, my dear brother, my holy family.
South Pole, North Pole. Can you fly to the mountains here? Or can you fly only into some inner imaginary things? No, you can fly into both. How come that when you are inside, how can you fly from inside to a place physically, geographically on this physical universe? There is a very good reason for that. Inside, when you withdraw your attention, there's an overlap of experiences taking place. An experience where you're still retaining the whole of your experience of this physical created universe, and also an experience of another universe, which is very different, but it looks like the other universe that is there overlapping with this thing is the basis of this universe. This is very crude compared to the fineness of that universe. I'll give a simple example. I go out and see a road being built. Oh, they're using mortar, they're using steel, all kinds of matter that's putting a surface. I see the inner self, and the road there is made of crystals, shiny crystals. Shining, the sun is shining, it's so beautiful. That's also a road, this is also a road. This road looks like very poor, trying to copy, try to imitate something that existed somewhere. When you do this exercise sufficiently long, you can start remembering, when were you in that universe? Where are you in that universe? Which place are you in that universe? And your memory will go beyond the time of your birth in this physical body. That is the first time you will say, I know who I was before I was born in this body. The only real, verifiable way to discover your past life. Not going to people to find out. Now, this can be done by anybody, but we don't do it. Why don't we do it? Well, we can find who we were, also remove forever the fear of death. By discovering we don't die, we just leave the body. When you can discover this yourself right now, sitting in the body, why are we not doing it? The reason is simple. We have misidentified ourselves completely with the physical body. And we have thought that the only reality that exists is this physical universe, because that's what we can possibly see when we are embedded inside a physical body. And not only that, if this was also, somebody could tell me, look, this is not the only thing, there's some other things you can see by disassociating yourself from the body or dying while living. When I try to do that, I remember things of this world. I can't even imagine. When I start imagining, I suddenly start imagining of things that happened here. Why is that? Because when we open up our eyes and open our sense perceptions to this physical world, we like something so much, we develop desires for more things. And with desires, we develop attachments. We develop so many attachments that when we try to just visualize we're inside, the attachments pull us out. And these two things in combination, awareness, this physical reality, physical body is the only real thing I know at this time, plus the attachments and desires of this world prevent us from doing a simple exercise and finding out who you were before you were born. Therefore, how do we handle this? If we really make it something available to everybody, there should be a solution to this problem of attachments and desires. We have a wonderful thing attached to us called a human mind. It's a good machine. We don't think it's a machine, we think it's ourselves. Somebody was telling me, Descartes is saying, I think, therefore I am. Because at that stage, so many philosophers were imagining that thinking is creating our knowledge of ourselves. Because we can think, therefore we are existing. That thoughts are our reality inside, and other things are all added on because of our thoughts. But this was not true. They did not examine things that were happening without thought, and we were still alive doing it. They never went into it. 3 things that are totally independent of thoughts, they did not examine. 1, intuitive knowing. Intuition does not function with thought. When intuition comes, thoughts are steady. Intuition very often defies thought. We are thinking of one thing, intuitively we say, no, that's not right. We are planning one thing with our thoughts, intuition says, no. Where is that coming from? They never examined that. If they examined, you'll find that mind that creates thoughts is only one part of our consciousness, that the other part, which is maybe more real than our own self, that what we are examining, even the mind, is our consciousness that exists without mind, which creates not only intuition, it creates the experience of love, experience of appreciation of beauty, experience of ultimate bliss. All those wonderful experiences people have described are coming without thinking. Therefore, to put the end of our own self-knowledge to thinking was a big mistake. We have been confusing the mind to be ourself. It is not true. The mind functions only in time and space. You can't have a thought. Supposing we were to taken out of time and space, mind will die instantly. It can't function. Smallest thought needs time. And we can survive without it because love takes place instantaneously without time. Appreciation of beauty takes place instantaneously without time. Intuition comes intuitively, suddenly, spontaneously without time. We have certain functions going on in ourselves which are even beyond the mind. But the mind that has been installed in our consciousness to think is a great gift given to us to use. It's a very good gift. I appreciate this mind so much every day for its capacity to think anything, to be creative, to make inventions, discoveries. In fact, I got my job today because of my mind. So the mind is such a useful thing. We should use it if it's useful, not become it, not say, I am the mind. Now that's a big mistake. When we identify ourselves with the mind, we forget ourselves completely, that we are not the mind, we are using the mind. Consciousness per se, life per se, exists without the mind. And there is a way by which these two can be separated. That's the beauty of it. That not only when we are able to withdraw our attention inside and discover that our sense perceptions work independently. By the way, we have given a new name to those sense perceptions. When sense perceptions work with the same mind and same ultimate self, same life, then we call it an astral body. It's very commonly used. That's the astral body. So that we don't confuse it with soul. Soul is life. No body is there at all in a soul, at all. Not even astral body. So therefore we can't say soul. People mistakenly say that astral body moved from one ghostly figure to another one. That's the astral body, not the soul. That astral body is carrying its own mind, same soul is carrying with it. Therefore just an astral body. Why it's called astral body? Astral refers to the sky. And there's a new sky opening up inside. Therefore we call it astral body. So the astral body can also do the same exercise that I am recommending that we do in the physical, that we withdraw our attention to third eye center. We have called that center third eye center because these two eyes we are seeing, they're actually joining the images that we are seeing, two images that are coming, we are seeing in the middle, in third eye center. The center of our consciousness, the center of wakeful consciousness, the center where we think we are spreading our attention from. If with the inner body we also do the same exercise, we can also become unaware of sense perceptions and discover they were also just a body covering us. Astral body is sense perceptions on the mind and the soul. We can go beyond the astral body into the self, same self, not somebody else. Same self that is now thinking, same self that is now listening, same self that is now living in this physical world, the same self can enter a state of being where it will know sense perceptions are gone. What about perception? Perception is not sense perceptions. Perception you perceive with the mind. Sense perceptions divide the perception into senses. That discovery comes very clearly at that time when you pull yourself in the inner body and discover that the sense perceptions were merely a spread out of the perception possible in the mind. Then the mind, which is thinking and perceiving and analyzing and rationalizing, understanding, all these things are functions of the mind. Beautiful functions. One feels so happy. Such a wonderful mind can do all these things. But that's not our self. Our self is using the mind, hidden behind the mind. Like the astral self is hidden inside this body, the mind is hidden inside the astral self. But we withdraw the attention from the astral self because it appears to be the same shape as this. Because we have divided the sense perceptions in the physical body, it appears to be functioning the same way unless we modify it by long stay in the astral stage. When we can modify and we can start walking with the head and thinking with the feet. But that takes time. Before that, we just associate the inner self exactly in the same way as this one. But when you enter that one and discover that perceptions were a mental function, that sensory perceptions were merely a division of a mental function, and you have direct perception of everything, it's a great experience. An experience that is unmatched, according to me. Try it out, see how it works. But that is not the end of a spiritual journey. We not found the self. Descartes was wrong. He thought we found the thinking self, that's the self. No, that's not correct. Now to go beyond the mind to your true self, which I could call the soul. The real soul will be what is using the mind, using sense perceptions, using this physical body, generating experiences, physical, astral, and mental and causal. If we can find that which is using all that, that will be ourself, which is generating life itself. Consciousness is being born out of it. So if we have to find that, to go beyond the mind, no exercise is possible. For the simple reason, to go beyond the mind, you can't use the mind. And all exercises are done with the will of the mind. You can't do anything in this world without first using your mind to do it. The mind wills it, the mind tries it, the mind does it. How can the mind do something to destroy its own self and go beyond it? Not possible. Therefore, it is possible to have an experience beyond the mind, but it's not in the control of the mind. Then who can do it? Now you'll be surprised who can do it. The self that lies beyond the mind can do it. Our own self. Because that's our self is all inside, hidden in the mind. If that pulls itself out of this outer experience, it can experience itself. Sitting here as physical human beings here, with these three big coverings on us, the covering of the mind, the covering of the sense perceptions, and the covering of this physical body, we have no idea at all who we are. And how are we in a position to pull? Is there something that we can pull with, which is not mind, which is not effort? Have we ever had an experience where we are pulled somewhere without any thought, without mind, without senses, without physical effort? Has anything ever happened to us? Yes, it has. And when we fall in love, we are pulled. When we fall in love, beloved pulls, a lover pulls. We are drawn. What, our thoughts are drawing? Not at all. We not even had time to think. Love pulls us because love does not come from the mind. It comes from our higher self, the highest self. It comes from true self. Therefore, if we have to cross the mind, what pulls us is love of the self pulling itself up. If we could know who we are, we can pull ourselves right now in 1 second. We don't know who we are. But did we come into this creation so stupidly that we said we should forget who we are and just cover ourselves with all these things and totally get absorbed in a temporary world, temporary body? Did we have no intelligence to say we should make some arrangement to get back home to our original state when we want to? I don't think we were that stupid. I think we were super intelligent. We are super intelligent to make an arrangement that even if we lock ourselves out completely, there'll be some key available by which we should be able to go back to that. Since the key is love of the self, and the self generates all experiences, therefore the key was that we generate in every experience that we have something that occurs in experience but should be part of ourself. So what did we do? We found that love pervades everywhere. We have experience of love in dreams, experience of love in wakeful state, experience of love in imaginary state, in the astral state, experience of love in the mental state, though not a mental action, but mental state. Therefore, love pervades everywhere. So the arrangement we have made very intelligently, super intelligently, if we want to go back to that original state, is that we can find something in the existing created universe that can pull us. But it should be our own self. Our own self, which is generating experiences, we should place our own self also in an experience outside. So we should think an experience is pulling us, but actually it should be our own self pulling. This experience is so unique. We all have a feeling about it, but we are not sure about it. The experience we have is that when love pulls us from outside this universe, that means another human being. I'm not talking of attachments to things and so on. I'm talking of love of a human being for a human being. When that love pulls us, a human being, where does it lead? It leads to where the beloved is. Now, supposing a human being comes into our life who strangely has a something that pulls us. And we are drawn to that human being for some reason. And the human being, instead of saying, that's great, I've met you, says, go back within yourself to find me. What does that mean? Here is a human being. We can see, feel his love. He's pulling out with his love. And what is he telling us? Find the human being outside, find that human being inside our own self. Very odd news. That somebody we're loving outside should say, find me inside. But such human beings come per our own arrangement when we are ready to discover our own self and go right inside. Such a human being, we have given a term, a perfect living master. PLM for short. In the United States, we use a lot of short letters, for words. PLM, perfect living master. Where do these words come from? Perfect, because if that human being is really our own self projected as an outside, and our own self above the mind is perfect, based on our studies, that all imperfections are created in time and space by the mind. And there can be no imperfection when we are out of that. Therefore, if that human being is our own self operating outside of ourselves, and the perfection of our own self is visible there, obviously that human being will exhibit that perfection by operating from that level even as a human being. That means that person's love is coming from the true self. We think it's that person's self. It's our own self, our own arrangement. Therefore, that human being whom we love says, go inside your own self and find who? Find the same whom we are loving. That's a remarkable change in the ordinary course of loving universe, people in the universe. So when he says, go inside, what do we find? Just an image of the same person, like we have image of many other people. When you love somebody, you think of that person, image comes in. So we think it's a very simple thing. The person is saying, he's a living person. He's not a dead person that we are making up with our own mind. It's a living person. And he's saying something to help us. The mastery that he's giving is to go discover our own self for which he has appeared in our life. And all he's saying is, go inside. So when we imagine anybody we love, we see. So we see that person. And he talks differently than others. Others have a good time with us, outside and inside. And this one inside says, go further inside. What is the meaning of this? When we go further inside, he says, go further inside. And then when the mind is reached, we find a pull of love, which we thought is the outside person. It's still and when we go beyond the mind, we find the outside person was no other than our own self. What a big discovery. What a great arrangement we have made. Super duper intelligence has been used. We are not stupid enough just to be locked out and not know how to go back. We made good arrangement. When does this arrangement come into effect? After all, we have been living in this life. We have lived previous lives, which we can test out. In the causal plane, which is beyond the astral plane, you will notice a very wonderful factory manufacturing destinies, manufacturing life forms, manufacturing what to do from birth to death, and making very quick DVDs. I'm using this terminology because it's physical terminology. It's a little different there, but to make it easily understood, the destinies which we live with, the way we are born and we die, is all being manufactured there. And we, not the mind, have used the mind to pick up one of them And that's how we are here. This discovery you can make there. It's remarkable. This business of going within yourself and discovering who you are is the most interesting adventure you can ever have. And it's all possible. Perfect living master comes into our life when we are ready for it, ready for this adventure. When are we ready? When we are tired of the show we have been watching called life. If we are not tired, time is not yet. Enjoy more, suffer more, have the ups and downs of life. It's a roller coaster to make it very entertaining and interesting. Go jump up and jump down in life, have all the pleasures and pains of this life, enjoy it. When you say, I am done with it, I am tired of it, I don't want any more of it. When that happens, perfect living master suddenly appears in our life. We can't find him. Because when we try to find, it's the mind working. When he appears, it's something else working, our own self working. That is why when we say we are seekers of our truth, seekers of who we are, seekers of the soul, seekers of the ultimate truth, a perfect living master automatically appears in our life through coincidences. Like the light went off, coincidentally, he appears like darkness in the light of our life. The light comes when we are ready for it. And we are ready when we have had enough of this experience. We sometimes can't be sure if we are ready. But the person who appears is more sure. Why? Because that person is more of our own self than we are today. We have lost ourselves. We lost ourselves into our own self. A cave that we have built up, and we are sitting inside the cave and thinking this is the whole world. You remember that reference, Platonic reference about the three men in the cave. They are looking at their shadows and think that is real monsters going to attack them. The cave, the shadows are being cast by a light behind them, and a man outside comes to tell them, look, these are not real people that you're looking at. Because when you move, they also move. They're your shadows. And what do these people say? Don't look back. He has come to destroy us. He is a conspirator with these who are in front of us. He wants us to turn around so they can kill us. We have to fight them. That's how we are living this world. We are fighting shadows all the time, created from our own self, from consciousness. Whole show is of consciousness. Our self is totality of consciousness, and the discovery of our own self is possible with the means I have said. First thing, most important thing, should be the feeling we have done with this, we have had enough of it, and we are seeking to go back home. When we say, I want to go to my true home where I belong, beyond the mind, a perfect living master will come into your life. Very happy to share these things with you. These are perfectly possible, potential things for all seekers. I was very lucky to be initiated by this great master, Baba Sawan Singh. And everything that I have experienced and sharing with you is based upon his teachings. That how you can follow systems of meditation, systems of withdrawing your attention within yourself and discover everything about yourself and everything about creation. Because creation is all taking place subjectively from within outside and not the other way around, which you will also find by your experience. Thank you very much. We'll have a break now. And I suppose there is some snacky stuff here. Enjoy some food, and we'll be ready for the holidays. I will, at about 3:30, come back again and see you for a little while. And then there are some people who've been waiting for some personal meetings, personal time. There's not much time available today, but I will see those who have come for the first time, certainly, and a few others. So thank you very much for your patience and very patient listening to me. I'll see you 3:30 again. Let's try today meditation behind the eyes with love and devotion.